Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News. For this edition, I'm joined by Mark Learmonth, who is Chief Executive of Caledonia Mining Corporation. Caledonia, well known for its operations in Zimbabwe. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Listed in London, in New York, and also on the Victoria Falls Exchange with a symbol of CMCL, a market capitalisation of around £169 million sterling. Mark, welcome back on the programme. You've just announced record quarterly production results from Blanket Gold Mine, which is, I suppose, in many ways has been the historic bedrock of the business. Now, looking back at analyst notes and previous announcements, in the first part of this calendar year, you were telling the story that Blanket wasn't quite performing as it should, but now you've bounced back, record production. What's driven that? What's caused it?
Well, I think as I outlined previously when I was explaining, what had gone wrong in the first two quarters. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with the mine at all. The electricity issues that we've faced historically, they've been largely resolved. It really came down to problems with on-mine management and supervision, and poor planning and poor implementation. And we've had some personnel changes at the mine over the course of the last year or so, which have contributed to that. And we've had to put a lot of effort into coaching and training people to do things the right way, and that's now borne fruit. And it's gratifying to see that production did recover very strongly in the third quarter, and as you said, it was a record production. So nothing wrong with the mine, and it's now back on song, which is great.
I mean, I think you produced almost 22,000 ounces of gold in the quarter. Does that mean you're in line to hit the forecast production for the year?
Of course, otherwise we'd have changed the guidance. The guidance is 75 to 80, and we're on track to achieve in that envelope. So we're very comfortable with that. The fourth quarter has got off to a good start. So there's no reason to believe that we will fail to reach that guidance, which is good. It's good.
Let's just stick with Blanket for a moment, because you've also got some other developments going on there and some exploration work. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the exploration work we restarted earlier on this year, because now, having finished the central shaft, we now have the logistical capacity to excavate the drill cubbies to create the platform for exploration. We just didn't have the logistics to do that previously. So that restarted in January. We issued the first set of results a few months ago, which were very positive. I'd have thought sort of 2/3 to 70% of each hole of the total number of holes drilled were better than expected in terms of width and grade, which is good. And we're currently targeting an area which we can access with our existing infrastructure. So this is all about increasing the confidence. We initially went out to increase the confidence of our existing resources, but actually not only have we done that, we're actually going to find more resource, which will in due course mean that the life of mine will be extended, which will delay and push forward that horizon when we have to start making a decision about how to take the mine even deeper, which will clearly cost more money. The current life of mine, I think, is out to about 2034. We're currently incorporating the existing the exploration results we've got to date into a new life of mine plan, and another phase of explorations is continuing as right now, and I'd expect we'll put that information out in the next sort of few months or so. But that's also looking reasonably positive. So that's good. The overall drilling program at Blanket will be ongoing. It'll go on forever as we continue to explore at depth to look for extensions, then give us a better basis to decide how to take the mine deeper. But it's good. It's good result.
I guess historically, Caledonia has been known for the production of Blanket and the dividends it's generated. But of course, you are now a multi-asset mining company. So as I want to look at one of those other opportunities, assets that you have, which is the Bilboes project. Can you give the viewers a quick update on what's happening at Bilboes, please?
Yeah, we completed the acquisition of Bilboes in January this year. There is an existing, and it's got, 2.5 million ounces, about 2.3 grams a ton. So it's relatively big, and it's relatively high grade for a potential open pit operation I think most new open pit gold mines are about 1 gram a ton or less, so it is a good grade. There is an existing feasibility study that was prepared by the vendors, and that's about 18 months to 2 years old now. And that caters for a mine going up to 170,000 ounces a year for a 9 or 10 year life of mine. Now that was prepared by the vendors in the sort of Russian invasion of Ukraine period. So that does need to be updated in any event to reflect the current environment. But that feasibility study was prepared by the vendors for the purposes of a sale. We're owners and operators, and our approach is very much to balance growth and minimize dilution. And so our approach may be somewhat different from the approach that's set out in the existing feasibility study. So to refresh the existing feasibility study is a relatively quick exercise, but to prepare a new feasibility study for a completely separate approach, which may be a slightly smaller startup operation with a longer life of mine, that takes a lot longer. And that work started, but I suspect that's going to take into next year before that second feasibility study gets completed.
Okay, so news flow to come on Bilboes probably next year with the feasibility study. But we're sitting here in October, a couple of more months to go to the end of the year. What news can we be expecting out of Caledonia before the end of the year, Mark?
Oh, the only scheduled news that we've got will be the publication of the Q3 results in the ordinary course of events, which will be in the middle of November. Other than that, any other announcements will be something that I don't know about at this stage.
Well, always something to look forward to. Mark Learmonth, thank you for joining us today. That was Mark Learmonth, Chief Executive of Caledonia Mining, updating us there on that record production, nearly 22,000 ounces coming out of the Blanket Mine in Zimbabwe. That's it for this edition of Blythe Ray Business News. Thanks for watching.